Ma'am, roll the window down, please. License and registration.
These videos are not stories, not myths, but raw moments where reality fractures and something watches back silently.
What you're about to see isn't staged horror or internet fantasy. It's the kind of footage that makes experts pause, rewind, and fall silent. Cameras capture things sprinting without sound, faces that don't belong on bodies, movements that defy biology, and moments where ordinary places become nightmares without warning. These clips don't just scare you, they linger because they feel wrong in a way your instincts recognize immediately. Every frame raises a brutal question. If this was caught by accident, how much was never recorded at all? Brace yourself, because once you start watching, you won't be able to look away.
Before we dive in, like, comment, and subscribe to Mystery Footage Uncovered now.
The gate shape with no face. CCTV footage shows a quiet farmyard at night. A guard dog sleeps until a tall, blurred shape enters frame. The timestamp glitches. The image destabilizes. The dog freezes. The animal wakes instantly, then backs away without barking, pressed against the wall in visible fear. The approaching figure's outline wavers, refusing to sharpen, as if the camera cannot agree on its form. Analysts note the legs bend backward like a deer's, while the torso remains upright and human. At full zoom, the most unsettling detail emerges. The face is completely smooth. No eyes, no mouth, no features at all, just a blank surface. Despite advanced enhancement, nothing appears. The figure stops at the gate and stands there, watching the dog breathe. Something that shouldn't exist was present that night, and it didn't need a face to be recognized. The man wearing a man. A late-night traffic stop. A driver in a cowboy hat rolls down his window. Everything seems normal, until it isn't. He barely blinks. His posture is rigid. His voice arrives late. When questioned, he tilts his head in a slow, exaggerated arc, as if learning the motion in real time. Then, under cabin light, his eyes briefly change shape, narrowing, stretching, before snapping back. Experts say this indicates unstable mimicry, a moment where the disguise fails. The voice sounds rehearsed, emotionless, like repetition without understanding. Folklore describes these entities as learners, practicing human behavior until perfected. The officer never realized anything was wrong. He thought he was speaking to a man. The footage suggests he was speaking to something wearing one. The passenger who pointed. An officer approaches a stopped vehicle expecting routine compliance. Instead, he finds a man sitting motionless in the passenger seat, staring forward. The flashlight reveals skin pale enough to see veins beneath it. No blinking, no breathing. When spoken to, the man turns his head smoothly, too smoothly, like joints don't apply. His eyes reflect harshly, animal bright. The officer instinctively steps back. Then the man raises one skeletal hand and points directly at him. Nothing else moves. The body cam begins to glitch. Static crawls across the image. Slowly, the figure fades, not vanishing instantly, but thinning, dissolving like smoke. The door opens by itself. The seat is empty. Later, reviewing the audio, officers hear a whisper recorded after the visual cuts out, "You shouldn't have stopped me." The thing walking with a dog. The footage is grainy, black and white, time-stamped 2:11 a.m. A tall, thin figure walks down a rural road, carrying what looks like a child, but the movement is wrong, too fluid, too elastic. Limbs bend where they shouldn't. It doesn't walk, it glides. The object in its arms resembles a baby, but proportions are off. Head too large, body limp, neck unsupported, shifting unnaturally with each step. Beside it walks a dog, not barking, not attacking. Following quietly, tail stiff, posture submissive, like it recognizes dominance. The figure turns its head toward the camera. For a fraction of a second, the face is visible, smooth, stretched, featureless, like wax pulled over bone. Authorities blame distortion. Locals say otherwise. They swear something walked that road for weeks afterward, and whatever it was carrying was never found. The presence that froze the dog. The clip opens on a quiet porch at 3:42 a.m. A guard dog lies awake beside its bowl, eyes open. Then something pale slides into frame from the darkness. The figure makes no sound. Its body is tall, hairless, unnaturally thin. The dog doesn't move. Not fear, but paralysis. As the figure nears the fence, its head tilts slowly, mechanically, like it's studying the space rather than trespassing. The face is hard to define, but the jaw hangs too low, the eyes too deep. Then it turns, fully, toward the camera. No reaction, no curiosity, just awareness. In the next second, it dissolves into shadow, fading rather than fleeing. Only then does the dog snap back to life, barking wildly at nothing. Investigators note the timing. The animal resumes movement only after the figure vanishes. Whatever passed through that porch didn't just scare the dog, it overrode it. The man in the truck, who said run. A late-night traffic stop turns wrong immediately. A pickup idles on a back road. The driver, wearing a cowboy hat, sits perfectly still. When he turns, it's too slow. His eyes are completely black. His jaw shifts sideways with a crack. The officer's flashlight reflects nothing human. When the man speaks, the sound lags behind his mouth, layered and distorted. As the officer steps back, the driver's arms bend unnaturally while reaching toward the glove compartment, joints rotating wrong. The body cam audio fills with static. Then the whisper comes, quiet but clear. Run. The officer obeys instinct. When backup arrives, the truck is empty. Engine running, door open, seatbelt melted and fused. Analysts later confirm electrical interference during the encounter. Whatever was inside that truck wasn't being pulled over, it was waiting. The thing that ran too fast. At 3:14 a.m., a backyard camera captures a single figure sprinting across grass. The simplicity is what makes it terrifying. The speed blurs the frame. Limbs stretch like elastic cords. No sound follows it. The head is wrong, elongated, smooth, tilted backward, as if staring at the sky while moving forward. It never looks where it's going, yet never trips. Halfway across the yard, it stops instantly. No skid, no adjustment. The camera glitches. Static tears across the image. When the feed clears, the figure is inches from the lens. Its eyes are white, reflective voids. Its mouth appears sealed shut. There is no breath, no movement. Then it flickers and vanishes, as if it was never fully present. Technicians reviewing the clip note frame loss consistent with electromagnetic interference. Whatever ran that night didn't just move fast, it arrived. The Silent Hunter at 3:14 a.m. At exactly 3:14 a.m., a backyard camera records a pale figure tearing across a fenced yard at impossible speed. Its strides are inhuman, its limbs stretch too far. The ground makes no sound. Even at full sprint, there are no footsteps, no leaves shifting, no breath, just motion. The creature's body leans forward like a predator mid-chase, arms swinging wide, joints bending beyond human limits. Halfway across the frame, it drops to all fours without slowing, continuing forward like a spider driven by instinct. Analysts highlight the eye shine. Bright, reflective, unmistakably nocturnal. This wasn't panic or escape behavior. The movement is direct, purposeful, calculated. Frame-by-frame breakdown shows no hesitation, no searching, only pursuit. Whatever crossed that yard wasn't fleeing danger. It was closing distance. The night the pet was taken. Recorded at 2:14 a.m., the footage shows a tall figure moving across a yard with something small in its grasp. The body is humanoid. The head is unmistakably wolf-like. The movement is silent and wrong. A second dog appears in frame, frozen, refusing to approach. Frame-by-frame analysis shows proportions that don't align with any known animal. Torso too long, arms too muscular, legs bending backward. The creature pauses and tilts its head slightly toward the camera, as if acknowledging it. Then it disappears into darkness. Residents reported screams that night, neither animal nor human. Investigators believe the creature wasn't hunting. It was collecting. The pet was never found. Experts disagree on what it was, but agree on one point. Costumes don't move like that, and animals don't look back at cameras with intent. The Backgate Encounter. This infrared clip shows a large dog confronting a tall, thin humanoid at a back gate. The dog lunges first. The creature reacts instantly. The animal is lifted effortlessly. Its hands are far too long, thin, clawed, wrapping around the dog with inhuman reach. The creature's head stays lowered, posture predatory but controlled. Then it looks directly into the camera. Its face stretches unnaturally as eyes reflect white. Veterinary experts reviewing the footage say the dog's body language shows terror, not aggression. It was defending territory, not attacking. After the encounter, deep claw impressions were found near the gate along with a musky odor that lingered for days. If legends are meant to stay stories, then this footage suggests something crossed the line, and it didn't knock. The upright thing that should not stand. At 2:43 a.m., CCTV captures a skeletal, hairless shape scrambling into view, limbs jerking at wrong angles. Its arms scrape the ground. Its fingers are too long. Its movement feels rehearsed. Then it begins to rise. Vertebrae shift visibly beneath the skin, cracking into alignment as it stands upright. Too tall, too thin, too aware. The head snaps side to side as if tracking vibration rather than sight. When it locks onto the camera, its eyes reflect infrared like polished metal. For a fraction of a second, its jaw stretches wide, revealing rows of needle-like teeth that match no known species. Then it lunges. The footage fractures into static. Investigators note extreme electromagnetic distortion in the final frames. When the feed returns, the space is empty. Whatever stood there didn't run. It disengaged. The man who looked back wrong. This detention begins like any other, hands restrained, calm commands, until the suspect lifts his head. His eyes glow yellow, not from reflection, but from within. His skin looks stretched, mask-like, hair standing as if charged. When an officer touches his shoulder, the man rotates his neck far past human limits. Bone cracks echo. His lips pull back, revealing teeth too long, too sharp. Then his voice changes. English stops. Something rhythmic, guttural, ancient replaces it. Breath fogs in the air as temperatures drop suddenly. With one violent movement, he breaks free, throwing officers aside with impossible strength. He runs but not upright. Low, fast, silent, almost animal. Thermal drones find nothing. No heat, no trail. Just empty darkness where something escaped. The footage ends with one officer whispering, barely audible, "That wasn't a man." The girl who never needed to blink. At first, the footage feels ordinary. A routine traffic stop, calm voices, steady headlights. Then the stillness becomes unbearable. The young woman inside the car doesn't move. Her posture is rigid, her breathing invisible. When a flashlight hits her face, her eyes shine back with an animal-like glare. She doesn't blink. Not once. When asked to lower the window, her head tilts slowly, mechanically, as if testing the motion. Then comes the smile. It appears too fast, stretches too wide, and settles into something that isn't joy, more like practice. Officers later said it felt rehearsed, copied from memory rather than emotion. Her voice follows seconds later, but it doesn't align with her mouth. The sound lags, overlaps, almost doubles. Then everything changes. The smile drops. Her eyes darken. The temperature inside the car plummets. Moments later, she's gone. The vehicle remains exactly where it was. No doors open, no footsteps heard, just an empty seat where something had been learning how to look human. The feeder with too many joints. This porch camera footage shows a skeletal figure crouched low, consuming something unseen. Its fingers are impossibly long. Movements are jerky, insect-like. Eyes glow with predatory focus. At 2:43 a.m., the creature freezes mid-motion, as if sensing observation. Its head rotates nearly 180 degrees before the body follows. When it stands, its limbs unfold in stages, joint by joint, like a spider extending. Whatever it was holding drops to the ground, unrecognizable. Then it advances toward the camera, speed increasing with each step. The final frame collapses into static. When the feed returns, the porch is empty. Deep claw marks scar the dirt where it stood. Analysts note the lack of blood despite signs of feeding. The implication is worse. It wasn't eating for survival, it was practicing. The road crawler that never looked away. The footage shows a dirt road at night, and something crawling straight down its center. Not stumbling, not wandering, crawling with intent. Its limbs bend too sharply, joints folding like a broken mechanism. Its body never sways. Its head never turns. Even as it advances, its gaze stays locked forward, as if following a path only it can see. The spine presses visibly against the skin, ridged and exposed, while the hands scrape the ground with elongated hoof-like tips. There is no sound in the recording, yet nearby residents reported scratching noises along walls and doors the same night. Analysts note the creature's movement is not animalistic. It's deliberate, controlled, predatory. In regional lore, entities that hunt in this posture are said to stalk rather than chase. Whatever crawled down that road wasn't lost. It was going somewhere. The daylight shadow that didn't match. This encounter happened under a gray afternoon sky. A tall, skeletal figure crosses an empty parking lot in full daylight. At first, it looks human. Then the limbs bend wrong. Then the shadow slips out of sync. Witnesses inside a parked car reported a sudden wave of dread and a sharp temperature drop. The figure never looks up, gliding forward with calm, trance-like focus. Analysts notice something disturbing. Its feet don't fully meet the ground. There's a fractional delay, as if gravity applies late. Wind pushes its hair, but the body remains unnaturally still. The shadow trails incorrectly, stretching and lagging behind. Skeptics argue costume or CGI, yet frame-by-frame analysis shows no digital artifacts. Those familiar with folklore point to the same signs: elongated proportions, drifting shadow, partial anchoring. Whatever crossed that lot did not belong fully to this space. The window visitor. Who chose? A home security camera captures a pale, hairless face pressed against a bedroom window. The eyes reflect light too brightly. The skin looks stretched and thin. The expression shows no emotion. Based on window height, the figure stands nearly 7 feet tall, yet its shoulders are narrow, almost fragile. It doesn't tap or move. It simply watches. For 2 full seconds, it remains perfectly still, then slides backward into darkness, vanishing instantly. No footsteps, no sound. Outside, investigators later found footprints beneath the window, elongated, human-shaped, ending in claw-like points. There were no signs of attempted entry. Analysts suggest the behavior wasn't intrusion, it was evaluation. In certain legends, these entities observed before imitating, studying mannerisms and routines. If that's true, the figure wasn't trying to get inside. It was deciding whether it wanted to become someone who already was. The scream that kept going without breath. The clip opens in chaos. A woman leans out of her car window, screaming. At first, it looks like rage, until the scream doesn't stop when her mouth does. Her face appears stretched, skin pulled too tight, eyes glowing white under the body cam lens. Her tongue moves too fast, snapping back unnaturally. The officer tries to calm her, but then she freezes mid-scream, mouth open, sound continuing. Her chest isn't moving. She isn't breathing. She extends an ID toward the officer with shaking fingers. The photo shows a normal woman. The thing in the car does not match it. When the officer steps back, she lunges forward with inhuman speed, slamming the window hard enough to crack glass. Seconds later, backup arrives. The car is empty, doors unlocked, engine running, no footprints, no blood. The audio ends with a final distorted scream, still going, long after there's no one left to make it. The woman who glided. Police respond to strange trail cam alerts and find a barefoot woman standing in the road. She doesn't blink. She doesn't respond. She doesn't breathe visibly. When approached, her entire body rotates at once. No neck movement. Her face is pale, tight, expressionless. She begins moving toward the cruiser, but her feet don't step. She glides. Radios cut out. Dashcam flickers. Then her jaw opens far beyond human limits. Audio distorts into static. Without warning, she drops to all fours and sprints into the tree line at impossible speed. Officers refuse pursuit. Reviewers note classic interference patterns reported in similar encounters. The conclusion is unsettling. Whatever they met learned just enough to pass, until it didn't need to anymore. The unfinished human form. A phone camera records a sealed metal basin being opened in a rural yard. Inside is a human-shaped mass. The skin glistens unnaturally. The eyes remain closed, yet react. The body is distorted, enlarged torso, shortened limbs, proportions frozen mid-development. The skin appears stretched and oily, creased deeply, warm to the touch. When vibrations occur nearby, The mass responds, subtle movement, low humming, breath-like sounds mixed with metallic resonance. A faint odor of heated metal and damp tissue fills the air. Specialists speculate uncontrolled tissue growth, artificial acceleration, or something interrupted before completion. It doesn't behave like a corpse. It behaves like a process paused. If something like this exists outside a lab, the question isn't what it is, but who decided it was never meant to be seen. The woman, the system said, was dead. This body cam clip unsettled even veteran officers. A woman sits motionless behind the wheel during a rainstorm, sirens reflecting off her pale skin. She doesn't react to knocks on the glass. Only when a flashlight hits her face does she turn, slowly, revealing hollow eyes and a lifeless stare. When officers run her ID, the screen freezes. Then a message appears. Deceased. Not recently, 23 years ago. The cause? A fatal car accident involving the same vehicle model she's sitting in now. When they return, she's whispering. The glass fogs from the inside despite warm air. The words become clear. I wasn't done. The moment the door opens, the seat is empty. The whispering continues anyway. Claw-like marks form across the dashboard as frost spreads along the interior. Backup arrives to an empty car, engine running, radio crackling. The case is sealed. The footage wasn't supposed to exist, but it does. The mirroring entity in the corn. A rural camera captures a quiet moment. A girl adjusting a fence. Then something tall and twisted emerges from the corn. Its limbs are too long. Its joints bend wrong. Its presence drains sound. As the girl turns, the creature tilts its head sharply, studying her. When she steps back, it mirrors her movement perfectly. One step, one pause, synchronized like a reflection. Experts note the silence. No insects, no birds, no footfalls. The face appears stretched, eyes hollow, expression unreadable. Movement analysis shows patterns inconsistent with human or animal locomotion. The creature isn't stalking blindly. It's learning. When the girl runs, it advances once, then vanishes behind the trees with unnatural speed. Investigators believe the mimicry was intentional. It wasn't chasing, it was practicing. The sheep pen breach. At 2:43 a.m., livestock cameras show sheep panicking before anything appears. Then two eyes glow. Then arms pull forward. Then the body follows. The creature crawls into frame slowly, deliberately, fingers digging into soil. For a brief second, it stands upright. Emaciated, towering, human-shaped, but wrong. Legs bend backward like a deer's. Fingers end in pointed tips. The sheep compress into the far corner. Even the guard dog refuses to engage. When the creature reaches the gate, the metal bars bend inward. It doesn't open the gate, it compresses through it, bones shifting unnaturally as if structure is optional. The footage ends as the herd scatters. Experts cannot explain the bone compression, strength, or behavior. It didn't hunt wildly, it selected access. The misbuilt biped in the rubble. Workers halt at a broken construction site as a crouched figure shifts among debris. Its skin is pale and bare, stretched tight over bulging muscle like something peeled too soon. It rises unevenly, torso compressed, limbs overlong. Extra joints bend and lock, eyes flash white under open daylight. The movement is erratic yet purposeful, capable of sudden hopping bursts that kick dust into the air. A rasping sound follows each breath, half wind through cracked vents, half-strained human gasp. Analysts describe blotched, oily skin consistent with exposed tissue, not fur or scales. The silhouette feels wrong, avian in balance, human in intent, animal in reaction. Nothing about it suggests survival through chance. It moves as if designed, then abandoned mid-correction. If something this malformed still knows where to go, the question isn't what it is, but what shape it was meant to replace. The deck-borne thing with too many limbs. A fishing vessel's handheld camera captures a shape hauled into open air. A human-like face stares forward without expression. Then the body spreads. Thick tentacles flex independently. Ringed segments expand and contract. Eyes dull white against steel glare. The torso elongates unnaturally, slick skin cracking as it moves, leaving an oily sheen across the deck. Motion is slow but powerful, accompanied by a wet, mechanical grinding layered with a hollow human tone. Crew members recoil as the appendages test surfaces with deliberate pressure. Analysts suggest deep water adaptation, pressure-borne evolution or mutation, able to stand upright yet deploy like machinery. The most unsettling detail is endurance. It doesn't panic, it doesn't suffocate, it studies. If something can survive being dragged into our environment and still function, what else has already learned how to breathe where it shouldn't? The gelatinous giant inside the plant. Inside a flooded processing facility, workers film a massive, sagging organism behind barriers. Its body slumps like living machinery. Skin drips continuously. Faint eyes glimmer through mucus. There's no clear skeleton, only bulk. Limbs appear reduced to vestigial nubs while translucent yellow skin stretches and reforms with each movement. It advances slowly, relentlessly, emitting a suction drag mixed with breathy human resonance. Witnesses report an odor of hot metal and decay that intensifies as it moves. Specialists speculate chemical acceleration, growth without structure, mass as the primary survival strategy. It doesn't need speed or precision, it needs space. The footage ends as the barriers strain. If something can live by becoming more, larger, heavier, harder to contain, how do you stop a threat that doesn't need to chase you? The pool creature that looked back. In a blue containment pool, observers lean in as a koi-like form surfaces. A face-shaped pattern appears, fins extend like arms, eyes reflect flat white beneath glare. Cranial markings resemble features too closely to ignore. The body length exceeds species norms, fins bending at angles that suggest joints rather than rays. Movement is graceful until sudden snapping turns disrupt the water with clicking sounds and a faint, breath-like exhale. Analysts debate neurological mutation or selective breeding gone wrong, beauty masking distortion. The creature doesn't thrash or flee, it swims calmly, aware. The implication unsettles viewers. Change doesn't always announce itself with violence. Sometimes it survives because it looks harmless, even elegant. If alterations this extreme can exist in plain sight, how many others pass unnoticed because we mistake familiarity for safety? The shoreline face without a body. On a rocky shore at night, a man steadies his phone as something surfaces. A human-like face emerges, teeth bare from soft masks, eyes blaze white in direct light. There are no limbs, only a compressed form with an oversized head-like structure. Gray, oily skin folds into deep creases, convulsing suddenly before settling into sluggish motion. A wet, grinding sound accompanies a distorted, human-adjacent cry. The smell, hot metal and rot, lingers. Analysts suggest advanced mimicry or deep water mutation, learning faces without needing bodies like ours. The creature's gaze tracks movement, not light. It doesn't advance, it evaluates. If something can study us using only what it needs, eyes, mouth, memory, what has it already learned about how we react? The swarm that rose together. A fixed phone records a city sidewalk as a cover shifts. Dozens spill out at once. Limbs strike pavement in rhythm. Eyes flash red-white in shadow. Individually small, together overwhelming. Each shows elongated limbs, extra joints, dark cracked skin with a glossy sheen. Movement is chaotic, yet coordinated, producing a sound like rain on metal, fused with a collective human hiss. Analysts suggest hive behavior, urban adaptation accelerated by proximity and neglect. They don't scatter randomly. They move as one, testing space, then retreating. The implication chills viewers. Numbers are the weapon. If they only surface together, the threat isn't any single form. It's the signal that calls them all. After witnessing these videos, one unsettling truth becomes impossible to ignore. Reality is far stranger and far more fragile than we want to believe. These recordings are not just about fear or shock. They expose moments where the familiar breaks apart and something else pushes through. Shapes that don't obey anatomy, movements that ignore instinct, eyes that look back with awareness. Whether these entities are mutations, hoaxes, misidentified phenomena, or something we don't yet have language for, the emotional impact is the same: unease, disbelief, and a quiet sense that we are not fully in control of the world around us. What makes these moments truly disturbing isn't just what appears on camera, but how often it happens in ordinary places. Backyards, roads, farms, neighborhoods, places meant to feel safe. These clips force us to confront the limits of science, perception, and certainty. They remind us that mystery still exists, and not all of it wants to be understood. If these videos made your heart race or left you questioning what's possible, like this video to support deeper investigation, comment with your thoughts or theories, and subscribe to Mystery Footage Uncovered for more real cases that challenge reality itself.